Alright guys, so today we're gonna be reacting to Sorry Comrade. D'Souza shares the wealth of knowledge with Komi or Kami. Okay, Dinesh, you have a lot of people that don't like you, man. Seem like something you're spreading, something in the waters that they don't not liking. Now we have communists just going against you. Let's see. Sorry, comrade. D'Souza cheers the wealth. Let's go.
Okay, so you talked a lot about the failures of socialism and the horrors that they've created, but you seem to have also left out a lot of the horrors of capitalism over the years.
Oh yeah, bro.
Now, including, but
oh yeah, bro. Yeah, you're giving too much information right now. Too much. Too much. We have the same hat. Very similar. Very similar. We can see the difference.
But not limited to the destruction of native land and stealing of their land, slavery, the colonialization of Africa,
oh my
disasters
God. Everything bad, I guess,
fire, right? Back in the early 1900s.
You forgot Japan too there.
Today. And I want to know, is that a conscious decision that you're making in order to further your agenda, or if you actually do believe that those things aren't actually tied to capitalism?
There's a bunch of things that make no sense.
So let's look at some of the things that you mentioned. You mentioned, for example, colonialism. You mentioned the destruction of native land, and you mentioned slavery. Let me just take those three. Those are like your three kind of.
And what was the other one? Colonialism, native, slavery, and I said transfer something he said. I don't know.
Slam dunk examples. Now, let's look at them one by one and ask this question. What does this have to do with capitalism? Not,
capitalism,
are we living in a capitalist world, and so obviously every institution is going to have some relationship to capitalism. I admit that. Just like it has to have some relationship to democracy, to monarchy, to whatever political regimes exist. But here's the point. Slavery. If I'm going to grab another guy and force him to work for free, do you consider that to be capitalism? Is that what Adam Smith talked about in The Wealth of Nations?
Pursuit of profits, absolutely. That's what capitalism was putting forward, and the pursuit of the pursuit.
No. So so you got to go back.
So I think he's just referring to the profit from the employer. But then capitalism is the free market. That means that you as a worker have the right, based on the capitalistic. Before he says something, let's see if you understand it. Is that you as a employee has some market value that need to be shared, and therefore you earn this amount, and you are forced to work for nothing. That is not capitalistic. You're just being under a regime, right? Employers tend to fight against employees from different companies to acquire the skill, because their skill bring value to their own company. That's capitalism. Slavery has zero capitalism. But see, Dinesh had to say here. I might be a little bit ahead.
Why slavery was installed in this country.
Okay, so to be fair, in all these things, you have to judge an idea by examining its validity on the behalf of the people who advocate it, right? If I'm going to discuss Christianity, I'm going to go to the words of Jesus Christ. I'm going to go to the New Testament, right? I'm not going to say, oh, I don't care about any of that. But so with capitalism, the simple fact of it is, if you don't have a voluntary workforce in which buyers and sellers and producers and consumers and
he's not ready to listen, bro.
And entrepreneurs are not in voluntary relations to each other, signing contracts and agreeing. The beauty of capitalism is that both sides are better off. Let's say, for example, take something really simple, okay? You have a glass of milk, and I have $3, okay? And I say, I'd like to have your glass of milk. And you say, I'll sell it to you for $2, okay? Now, you would never do that. I'm not answering the question. I'm saying that colonialism, which is political conquest by force, and slavery, which is physical conquest of another man's labor, are the antithesis of capitalism. The forcible seizure of native land, none of this has anything to do with capitalism. It's the very opposite of capitalism.
So what you're saying is the United States of America was not a capitalist country until 1865, and that's the day it did?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the Southern economy was essentially a non-capitalist economy. Its champions knew that. The defenders of slavery all attacked capitalism.
But it was in the pursuit of profit, which has continued on since then through the Jim Crow law errors, since the establishment of private prisons.
Again, I hear you, bro. I really do. I really do. Can you do the same argument to the rest of Latin America, even Puerto Rico, Brazil? Can you do the Dominican Republic? Can you do the same argument to them? Yeah. What about Africa? Can we do the same argument? If we can do the same argument for all these people, I mean Japan and Japan with Korea, all that stuff, with the same force, I can guarantee you, bro, you will have a huge pushback because what you're saying right now. Again, you're just connecting things that is not answering capitalism, if I'm wrong. He's trying to explain you what capitalism is and whether that has a correlation with what is your question. And then you're doing this thing, you're not really listening. Let him tell you what it is, and then you say, Mr. D'Souza, thank you for your answer, but I disagree. Here's why. But you can't do that.
And it's happening to this day. It hasn't changed. It's been capitalism since this country has been founded, and that capitalism is rooted in the slavery of this country.
Okay, let's see.
The dictator of Venezuela, Maduro, right? When he died, he was a billionaire. So he was obviously in pursuit of profit. He was a socialist who was looting the country for himself. Was he a capitalist because he cared about profit? No, because capitalism is not just about caring about profit. Capitalism is about a certain way of going about business that actually mutually enriches all the parties involved. Otherwise, they don't do the transaction. If I go to apply for a job at a company, and let's just say they offer to pay me $1 an hour, right? And let's just say that I say, that's scandalous, that's slavery wages. If I don't take the job, I'm no worse off than I was before. They haven't exploited me in any way. They're offering me a deal, I'm free to take it or not. It's completely different if they go grab me, put a chain around my neck, and make me work. That's the opposite of capitalism. That's why, read Lincoln. Lincoln says slavery is
He's not going to read Lincoln, bro. Come on.
And the alternative for him
is
the hand that makes the corn gets to put the corn in its own mouth. For Lincoln, that's capitalism. So you keep the fruit of your own labor.
So you're saying
there you go.
The workers who produce the corn should be the ones who get that profit. So I guess we agree on that.
No, I'm saying if I come to a barren field that nobody has thought of cultivating, and I say, you know what, I actually see this as a very rich place to have avocados. And I hire 100 people to work on the avocados, and I pay them an agreed upon wage of, let's just say, $10 an hour. And at the end of it, I make $1 million. I would say that is a fair and just outcome because all of them
you're investing.
That $10
You're the biggest investor.
was well worth it for them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it. And I thought of the idea, and I put it together.
That. Yes.
Oh man, bro, really?
I agree.
Because capitalism has forced them to do that. They're not being forced, bro. There's an agreement. I'm gonna just pay for this. If you work for me, I'm gonna pay you $10. But you don't have to work for me. Because capitalism has them to do that. This is a college kid. I don't want to say too much. Let me just calm down. What is my deal? What is my deal here? Let me just try to put it all together. Kid, we will both have hats. My nails are not painted. I understand that. But you have to let the message comes through your brain and then let it go. But you're ready with both hands on your hip, ready to shoot. You cannot go like that, man. Maybe you have good points. Maybe you have good points, man. Maybe you were getting good point. What I notice about these things is that they're ready to your shoot and they're not ready to listen, man. And then D'Souza tried to argue this thing. I'm like, D'Souza, it's not a patient thing. It's a stamina thing. He had the stamina to do so. He had the stamina to just confront these people. He knows what kind of jab they throw, right? They're used to that. I just don't put myself in a situation where even in a bad economy that we have now, there's still food. We still have a roof. We still have cars. We still have people just going into the bar the Saturday and Sundays and Fridays with a bad economy, bro. How can we just have it bad, bro? Why? What? You want more? Oh, you want more like a greedy pig, like a capitalist? You want more? Are you willing to? Oh, you know what? Let me just give it to you. Hear me out. Let me give it to you. Let's just have that fit form and let it. I just want you to work it and earn everything the same as the CEO. But I want you to go to that farm and just work like everybody else. When you do that, put yourself in front of the D'Souza and you say, hey, I did that. And we all agree that we're going to do it. We're going to share the profits. When you do that yourself, then you can come out because you don't look like that type of guy, bro. And you might be, hey, you might be in the right side. You might be in the right side of the equation, right? But certain things doesn't fit you well, man. You have to listen. And maybe if you're listening to him, you had a better argument rather than just be ready to shoot from the hip. That's what I have with this conversation. They're just ready to shoot from the hip. They don't want to listen. And that's the main concern because that means the conversation is not happening. It's more like whatever the buzzword that I have and the memes and the Facebook chat stuff. Like I don't have Facebook, but remember when I have Facebook, I can just see this kind of thing. Because Putin, capitalist, communist, and racist, KKK, all this stuff, man, they have nothing to do with reality. Shout out to D'Souza to do what he has to do. I guess the guy tried his best, but man, you have to make sure you're ready to listen and then shoot. Don't shoot from the hip, right? Don't shoot with the hip, but you don't even know if a bullet's coming. It's like standing into a wall and you're looking at yourself on the wall. You want to shoot just to make a point. Don't do that, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and let me know. Hey, let me know if you guys agree with me and you guys don't agree with me. I'm okay with that. Okay, I'm all ears. I'll see you in the next one.